Investigate with Kate. Today I'm here with Superintendent Lamont Cole at his office. In my opinion, the 80s is the best decade for music. It is. Not in my opinion. It is.
Okay.
How would you describe your job using an 80s song title?
An 80s song title. Oh man, you caught me way off guard with that one. But if I had uh, to pick a song from the 80s, it would be My Philosophy by KRS-One. You ever heard that song? Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly one. He's a rap artist. And it's a song that came out in 1988 when I was in high school. And it just talks about his philosophy about the world. And so if I had to pick a song to describe my superintendency, it would be My Philosophy, because it's my philosophy about how children should be educated. You should listen to that song.
How did you decide to become an educator?
I was actually, I graduated from college in 1997, and I was working at Federal Express, delivering and picking up packages in the afternoon. And I was sitting out for a semester because I was going to begin graduate school the following fall of '98 in social work. And my mother suggested I do some substitute teaching while I was sitting out waiting. And so I started substitute teaching in February of 1998 at a Struma Middle Magnet School. And I fell in love with the work. I fell in love with the schedule, working from 7 to 3 every day at a middle school, and then having the evening times where I could work at Federal Express from 4 to 8, and then being off every weekend. It just seemed like a really good schedule. And then having the holidays off, I enjoyed it a great deal. And so I decided I wanted to do it full time, and that's how I began.
What is the funniest or most surprising thing that has ever happened to you since you've become a superintendent?
The funniest or most surprising thing?
Yes.
Interesting, it happened this weekend. The most surprising. There's a young lady who is in high school at Liberty Magnet, and she wrote an essay, a 500-word essay, to compete for a scholarship from Regents Bank. And she wrote the essay about me and my first few months on the job as superintendent. And so that was super surprising because I didn't think students were paying attention to the work we are doing at this level. The teachers, yes. Principals, administration, yes. But at this level, I didn't think students were paying attention. So uh, someone from the bank shared it with me, and it blew me away. So that's the most surprising thing. The funniest thing I think that's happened to me since I've been superintendent, it's always funny when I go to schools and people recognize who I am. Because I don't think I knew who the superintendent was when I was in elementary and middle school. I just had no clue. So when I walk into schools and young people know who I am, that's always makes me chuckle a little bit. That young people are paying attention more nowadays than they did when I was in school.
Well, when you came to my school, I recognized you.
Really?
hmm
Wow. See, that's that. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it does make me want to work harder to make our district a good place.
If you were stranded in Louisiana swamp for a year and you started a school, what would you bring to start the school? Like,
Uh,
what are the essentials to start a school?
the essentials to start a school. Uh, I think I would bring lots of paper,
Yes.
lots of pencils, lots of flashlights.
Okay.
Uh, there are these things, I forgot what they call them in the army. Uh, they're these food things that last a long time. MREs. I would bring a ton of those. If we were in a swamp, I would bring a ton of those. Um, have to bring some teachers who could
Yes.
teach. Bring lots of those who could teach various different subjects, who could be creative in the swamp and use it to help to educate the kids further. But I think after that, that's all we need. Teachers, pencil, paper, something to eat, and I think we could have some good experiences in the swamp. Maybe some sleeping bags, maybe some boats, so we could, if we're in the swamp, I
Field
assume.
trip.
If we're in the swamp, I'm sure we'd be on the water. So those things, I think we could get it done. In education today, we have so many resources we use to teach uh, children, and sometimes I think it's overkill. I don't think we really need all of those things to teach. They say the greatest generation of people to be educated in America is the class of 1972. And so that is the class that Steve Jobs was in. That is the class that Bill Gates was in. That is also the year that Sputnik went into space. And so that ushered in the age of innovation and space travel in a more broad way. And so I think some of those things, the simplistic things we used to educate ourselves a long time ago, are the things we simply need today.
At your vision luncheon
Hmm?
that I attended,
That you
you
MC.
yes, you mentioned the possibility of changing start times for
Hmm.
middle and high school.
Hmm.
I will be heading into 6th grade in the fall, so I was wondering if I need to start mentally preparing myself to wake up at the crack of dawn, or if the later start times might actually happen.
If it's up to me, we make the attempt to begin that process next school year. We push elementary up a little bit to about 7:45. Middle school would start at about 8:30, and then high school would start at about 9:25. And so the research tells us, brain development, brain research tells us that younger age students do better in the morning, and that middle school and high school students do better with later start times. So I wouldn't start the middle and high school before 8 o'clock. Now 7:10 is way too early. What I would attempt to do is not have anybody on the bus before 7 a.m. And so that would be the goal. That's very bold and aggressive. I'm not certain our community nor is our board ready for a move like that. But I'm always one of those people who believes if it's good for our students at any time, it's good now. And so there's no time like the present to make a change to something better. And so some would say we would give people time to adjust, but that means we would be giving our students, we delay what's best for them when we know we need to make a change now. Why would we delay what's best for them? And so I'd make that move now. So to answer your question, I am going to talk to board members individually about the possibility of switching to a later start time sooner rather than later. We are working with a consultant to look at our transportation system and our bus routes to see if we could accommodate that for next year. And if so, you might be starting middle school a little bit later than the time they start now.
If you could give each student in this district one thing, what would it be?
The gift of wonder. I would give every child the innate ability to wonder about the world and want to know, understand, and learn things. I think everywhere I've traveled to in the world, I want to know more about why things are, or how did things end up being the way they are. When I get there, and for me, it's so fascinating when you travel to places and you ask that question, how, why, and what happened here. And so I'd want every child to have that because I think uh, wondering about the world, wanting to know more about the way things are, helps to make you a more well-rounded individual. It also makes you more compassionate and more understanding of other human beings when you learn about their circumstances, when you learn about the conditions where they are, and then when you learn about how things have come to be. And so I would give them the gift of wonder.
Bonus question.
Sure,
I Do you have H's on your tie?
I do.
Okay.
You
That-
want to
You
know
know
what
what that-
brand that is?
You know,
Yes.
you know, it stands for happy. No, I'm just joking. It stands for Hermes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was a bonus question. Well, thank you for watching Investigate with Kate. How can we find you?
You can find me at ebrschools.org on our Instagram and Facebook page. You can also find me at my personal Instagram page at Lamont Cole and on X at Lamont Cole, as well as